There we go. Hello, chat. Glad to have you guys here, and I'm glad to be here with you today on Black Friday. Adam Lane Smith, the attachment specialist, obviously. Now, I want to make very, very clear here today. Two things are going to happen. One, I'm going to be live streaming for the next hour myself. I'm going to show you the attachment algorithm. This is not something we've talked about here on this channel before, but I want to help you understand exactly what's running in your brain that's preventing you from getting the love that you need, the love you deserve, and the love you have always craved. I'm going to show you how to stop driving away that love because many of the things you're doing accidentally are driving it away. And it's because of this attachment algorithm. Now, that's the first hour. Okay. The second hour, my certified attachment coaches are going to be joining me. We're going to be answering the top 10 most frequent questions we get from our coaching clients. They're going to take turns going around and you're going to meet the whole team. I want to be very, very clear. We are here to help you fix your attachment. If you didn't know that before, I've got an entire team to help me do that and help you as well. So today, no surprise, it's Black Friday, right? We have a lot of things up for very, very, very special sale right now. I do not want you to miss it. I'm going to drop over in chat right now. Black Friday specials up to 60% off with 5 free gifts. Okay, I'm going to drop that over in chat right now with a link. I do not want you to miss this incredible special. It is going to be running for Black Friday. A lot of people ask me every year, Adam, are you doing a Black Friday special? Yes, I want to make sure everybody gets accessibility. Sometimes people tell me the money's a little tight. I understand. This is our way every year of making sure this is accessible. Not only the courses, all 5 of my courses are now up on special, up to 60% off when you bundle them in, but again, 5 free gifts, up to 5 free gifts on those bundles as well. And coaching is up to 30% off. You can also do an ultimate bundle where you get courses and assessments with me and my team where we show you your skill gaps and the experiences you must have to become remade secure. Okay. All of that, I'm going to be talking about it throughout the 2 hours that I'm on here today, a little more than 2 hours. I'll keep an eye on the clock a little bit longer. I get to spend more time with you today. But keep in mind, Black Friday only. I don't want you to miss these. Now, jumping into the attachment algorithm, I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar to you, okay? Does this sound familiar to you? And I see you over in chat. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Kristen. Nathalina Williams. Good to see you as well. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Tell me if this sounds familiar. You're in love. You're in love with somebody, and you can't stop yourself from doing the anxious behaviors that you know make you less attractive, the things that make them uncomfortable, the things that cause confusion, the things that create self-fulfilling prophecies and loops that you get stuck in. If this has been your cycle, I want you to understand it's not your fault. This is an attachment algorithm running in your brain. I'm going to show you exactly what that means. But that algorithm is driving you to do the very things that are pushing away love, even as you are chasing it, even as you crave it. Whatever style you are, anxious, avoidant, disorganized, you have an attachment algorithm that's sabotaging that love and that connection. I want to show you today what that looks like and how to break free from it forever. And again, a lot of the Black Friday specials are going to come in because those are resources I have built to help you overcome this if you need more focused help, okay? First of all, attachment style, attachment algorithm, attachment pattern. These are 3 distinct terms. I'm going to show them to you today. Your attachment style is what forms through all of your experiences, your brain, your biology, everything for the first few years of your life, and is reconfirmed and focused in more and more and more as time goes by. Your attachment style. I'm anxiously attached. I'm avoidantly attached. I'm disorganized. Okay. Your style is the overall idea of what you do and why. It's your survival adaptation, if you want to think of it that way. Okay. Your survival adaptation. Now, with that, and you're right down here, chat. I'm going to check in with you guys a bunch because I want to make sure I answer questions down here. Throw a hello into chat when you guys get in. Your attachment style also creates your attachment algorithm, which is the beliefs you hold inside. Your algorithm feeds back in and creates your style and reinforces your style too. So it's sort of a chicken and the egg. The algorithm is the program running unconsciously in the back of your head, usually unconsciously, at best semi-consciously, that says, I'm anxiously attached. No one has time for me. No one will ever truly care about me. I am only worth what I make people feel and what I do for them. If people see who I truly am, they will abandon me. I will always end up abandoned in the end. This is your attachment algorithm. It's the core beliefs you live by. Okay, these are the core beliefs that you live by. Now, your style, again, and your belief cycle, your algorithm go together. The algorithm creates patterns. These are the behaviors you do as a response to the beliefs that you hold. I believe this, here's what I do about it. Okay? Your attachment pattern has four distinct pieces that fit into it. Okay? Trigger, it runs on like a clock. Trigger, you have a situation that triggers your attachment pattern, your fear. We'll talk about that in a moment. That goes into a prediction of what's about to happen, and it's going to be negative. Your amygdala, the fear center part of your brain, hallucinates threats at a 340% increased rate. 340% increased rate of hallucinating threats at neutral stimuli, a neutral calm face, a neutral experience. Massive. Okay. So you predict something terrible is about to happen. Your brain then runs a super fast unconscious circuit, right? It's about zero point 0.1 seconds, loops over to the limbic system, fight, flight, fawn, freeze, and begins a reaction. Your conscious prefrontal cortex, logical thinking, runs at about zero point 0.3 to zero point 0.5 seconds. So you are either 3 times slower or 5 times slower than this pattern. Okay, your conscious brain, where you live, where you fix your behaviors and you go to talk therapy for 5 years and you process things out and you have affirmations every day and you remind yourself with sticky notes not to react and you try everything you can to change your behaviors in your prefrontal cortex, 5 times slower, massively outdone by the limbic system that speeds through. Okay, that's part of the problem. You react and you do something potentially damaging to the relationship. You may not mean to, right? You may not mean to, but it happens. And then it drives the other person away in some fashion because your emotional overload frightens them. We'll talk about what that looks like, and they run away. Now, confirmation is step 4. Confirmed. I was right to be afraid. See, they hurt me. They abandoned me. They withdrew. They overwhelmed me. They attacked me. They left me behind. They judged me. They rejected me. I was right to be afraid. In fact, I should be more afraid in the future because I've confirmed that this always happens. And that loops back and makes the trigger stronger. Now, the next time it runs, it's even faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And that's why you don't change your behaviors. Your attachment algorithm, I should have called it an attack algorithm. Your attachment algorithm loops that hard and that fast. And that's why you can't outthink it. That's why you can't just stop it. That's why when someone says, just quit doing it. That's why every time you do it and then promise you're going to change and you'll never do it again, you will. This is why. Now, drop a yes or a me in chat. Okay, if that's resonating with you guys, give me an aha, a me, a yes, something. Let me know if this is really resonating with you. I'm going to go through exact patterns to show you what it looks like for anxious and avoidant people right there. Okay. Maybe I'll even do a disorganized pattern. If anyone out there is disorganized, drop me a disorganized in chat. Let me know. Okay. If you guys want to hear that one. Let's go through the pattern right now. Yes. Okay. So it's resonating. I hear you. Okay. Got it. So it is starting to resonate. Okay. Let's go through this pattern for an anxiously attached person. A lot of you on this channel are anxiously attached. Let's do that. Anxious attachment first. So your beliefs are that no one will ever have time for you because you don't deserve it. You're going to be abandoned. If anyone sees who you really are, they will be disgusted and leave, that your needs are too much, and that you can never ask for anything because it creates a burden for other people. It's a lot of beliefs to labor under unconsciously about how your relationships work, but that's anxious attachment style. Triggers activate anytime those beliefs get poked. Let's say you go on an amazing weekend vacation with a partner. Okay. Let me tell me if this has ever happened to you. You go on an incredible weekend vacation with a partner. All weekend, passion, love, exploring, communication. Everyone is open. Everyone is so loving. An amazing experience, one of the best you've ever had. And they tell you this was the most amazing experience. I can't believe it. I've never told anyone these things. And then Sunday night, you get back, you go your separate ways, and maybe they send a, yeah, hey, thank you for that. And then silence for 3 days. You don't hear from them for 3 days. Have any of you ever felt this before? There's a lot of disorganized in chat. Okay. Disorganized people with anxious tendencies or with avoidant partners can have these experiences too. So let me know, yes, does this sound familiar? Right? Ghosted after an intense emotional bonding session with a partner, whether it's a vacation or just a really great evening. Tell me if that's resonating with you guys. Okay. Now, that's a trigger. Ghosted. I'm being abandoned. They're not talking to me. There's a disconnection. You are flooded with oxytocin, that bonding hormone, and now it's ripped away. You go through an actual biochemical withdrawal process, which signals deep unsafety to your nervous system. I am now in danger. That's encoded into you and into your brain cycles. Okay. When oxytocin goes away, I am in danger. Pulled away. So you're not just not having communication, you are actively getting a message that you are now in danger and being abandoned. Okay, trigger. Prediction. They don't want to talk to me. They don't like me. I did something wrong on the trip. I thought it was great, but I messed up. I offended them. They're tired of me. I don't deserve love. They're going to leave me forever. They will never speak to me again. Prediction. Okay? Prediction. Oh, yeah. Okay. Of course, people are saying yes. Absolutely. Okay. So that's resonating. I figured it would. A lot of my clients have these challenges. Okay. So as you go into this process and as you have this feeling and this experience, your brain builds that prediction. I'm about to get abandoned forever by somebody I am so in love with. It is going to hurt and I feel like I'm going to die. That activates, okay, trigger, and then prediction, reaction. What do? You start checking in. Hey, just seeing how you're doing. Text. The texts start. Hey, just seeing how you're doing. How you feeling? How's Monday going? Anything funny happening? Hey, here's a funny meme. Here's a picture. Hey, here's me, my face. Haha. Here's some images from the trip. Did you remember this? Hey, here's this funny inside joke. Not responding, not responding, not responding. Even worse, maybe you get that red, the dreaded red receipt, right? What is going on? They really are tired of me. They hate me, right? Then it's more, hey, I just want to say if I did anything that upset you, I'm just really sorry. I don't know what it could have been, but if you let me know, I'll apologize for it. Hey, I'm not sure what might have happened, but I'm really sorry. Hey, are we okay? Is anything off? Hey, just checking in. Are you all right? Are we okay? Can you just tell me what I did? Now panic is building, right? Hey, I don't know what happened. I just want to say I am so sorry. Whatever it was completely unacceptable. I can't believe I did that, whatever it was. If you could just text me, I promise I will make it right. More panic. Still not getting responses. What happens next? You guys know what happens next. The flurry of wall to wall messages proclaiming your undying love, your devotion, that for the rest of your life, even if they walk away from you, you will always remember them, that they are the greatest person you've ever known, and that if they just gave you a chance to talk, everything would be great, right? Now, what happens is this frenzy of emotional explosion and assumption actually drives the other person away and they pull away further and stop talking to you more. Or if they do talk to you, they let you know this is a lot. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. They don't know what to do. They pull back. You start to lose them. Confirmation. I knew it. I am too much. I don't deserve love. They saw it. I ruined it again. I can't believe I did this. How embarrassing. Maybe they come back. They're like, hey, my phone was actually broken for a couple days. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. Right? All kinds of things. Confirmation. I knew I should have been afraid. I wasn't afraid enough. I got too into it. I was too happy on that trip. I missed something. I ruined something. And now I panicked. I should have been more afraid of talking to him. I shouldn't have texted him at all. I should have just locked myself in a room and not spoken to anybody and hope he comes back. I ruined it myself. Confirmation. Next time I should be more afraid. Loops the cycle again. Is this sounding familiar to everybody out there? Right? Is this sounding familiar? Let's talk about what's happening on the avoidance side that's also looping into this. Okay. That's the anxious side. I do not miss those days. Glad to hear that, Jesse. Glad to hear that. On the avoidance side, they have an incredible weekend with you or an incredible emotional experience. It overwhelms their nervous system, and now they feel threat. Their brain says closeness to other people is dangerous. Bonding too much is dangerous. I will get swallowed and engulfed by people's feelings. Other people expect me to become a slave to their emotions, and if I let them get too deep, they'll take control of me. They had a bonding experience with you, and then they say, do I still have freedom to back off? Plus, I'm exhausted. They back off. They go into their cycle. Not appropriate. They should communicate to you that they're overwhelmed. They should help you understand, and then they should take conscious time, a specific amount of conscious time to reconnect and do differently. They should. This is not about catering. It's about understanding. They pull back, and then the texts start. The texts are usually the trigger point for the avoidant person. They're partially triggered by the trip or the experience, not fully. They need to kind of breathe and they'll be okay. The emotional overwhelm is actually what triggers them. The frenzy of texts, right? Poking, prodding. They know something's off, but they don't know what you're trying to get. And as it goes on, your emotional flood overwhelms them. And they say, look, we went on a great trip and it's not enough for you. You're hurting me. You're attacking me. You're swarming me. I'm already exhausted. I can't give you what you need. If you've ever heard that phrase, I can't give you what you need. This is too much. I will not be enslaved to your emotions. And they, right? That's the process. Trigger and prediction. I'm about to get enslaved and engulfed. Reaction. I will stop talking to you and pull away. That does not go well. I will stop talking to you, pull away, and disconnect emotionally even further. Or I will get irritable and push back. Or I'll make fun of you. Or be passive aggressive. Or I'll be really worried and hesitant and figure out what the heck is going on to see if this is a live grenade about to blow up in my face. Right? Now, their behaviors, their reactions also damaging. And they loop back and do that with you, and your behaviors deepen as well, right? The anxious and avoidant feed off of each other like this in a big loop. Okay. Confirmation. You get more upset and they see it, say, see, I was right to be afraid. I shouldn't even have connected with you like that. Look how bad things are now. I should have known not to let myself go and emotionally connect to you. I should have known. Back to the top of the loop, triggers get deeper and deeper and deeper. This is the cycling pattern. This is the cycling pattern. Okay. This is it. Yeah. Feels manipulated. Pash says this feels manipulative on the avoidance side. It feels manipulative on the anxious side too. Both people feel like they've been taken for granted, manipulated, betrayed, dismissed, that they're just an object for the other person's pleasure. The other person doesn't care about them. Both sides begin feeling that. Kelly says, I've seen this cycle in more than one relationship. That's exactly why I built all the resources that are on sale right now for Black Friday to fix cycles like these. Okay. That's exactly why, because so many people, it's not one relationship, it's every relationship, and it's 100% fixable. I'm going to show you what we do to fix that. Okay. Especially inside my newest course, the attachment style decoder. It's up right now for the Black Friday special, up to 60% off. Okay. Click that pinned comment right there in the chat, pinned comment, click in there, grab that course. The attachment style decoder course walks you through what these cycles are and why they form and why they happen. And also this next piece. So if what I'm sharing with you is resonating right now, this is just a taste of the program that's inside that course. The way to fix this, like I told you, it's running about 5 times faster than your conscious brain. You can't outthink it. You can't outrun it. Talk therapy isn't going to fix this. Affirmations won't fix this. Okay? Sticky notes reminding yourself won't fix this. The only thing that fixes this is interrupting it with a skill set. Skills like interrupts that create new experiences that remap your brain and break those patterns. They change those patterns permanently. They replace them with better patterns instead. Okay. What are some other cycles? Oh, yes, the disorganized ones. We are going to get into that. Um, Quiet disorganized. Let's do that one. Anyone here quiet disorganized? Type QD in the chat for me really quick. QD for quiet disorganized. Any other quiet disorganized people here? Quiet disorganized beliefs are no one will ever accept me for who I am. People want to take from me. I don't hate them, but people are unreliable. People are scary. People are confusing. I'm never safe when I'm around other people, and I can never let my guard down or let anyone in, and I will be alone forever. Trigger. Someone gets really close to you. Someone seems to care for you. Someone has expectations of you. Someone wants to ask you personal questions. Someone wants to bond with you. Trigger. Prediction. I'm about to get attacked, engulfed, swarmed, hurt. Nothing's ever going to be good enough. And I'm going to disappoint them. And then they'll be angry at me and I'll ruin everything. Reaction. Either fawn, just give them attention, really give them whatever they want, just throw everything at them. Flee, run away, and reject the relationship and run as fast as I can. Or if they can't do those things, freeze. Freeze solid. Face goes blank. Face doesn't even look scared. Even that would be too much. Face goes blank. Say nothing. Do nothing. Unfortunately, what happens is the other person on the outside doesn't know what's happening. So you look disinterested, cold, aloof, unkind. You look like you just don't care. And they get upset or annoyed and they start to back off. And now this is a failed attempt to bond, and you feel rejected and ignored and dismissed, and you don't know what happened. So then, confirmation. No one will ever accept me. No one really cares about me. No one wants me. I don't know what to do. Interactions are scary. Deep in the loop. Over and over and over and over. That's quiet disorganized. Yeah, a few quiet disorganized in the house. Okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah, 100%. That's the game right there. Now, on top of that comes loud disorganized. Closeness is everything I've ever wanted, and I can't live without it. But at the same time, it is the most terrifying thing on the planet because being close means I'm in danger. That's the core beliefs. Trigger. Someone gets really, really close to you. Let's say at about 90 days is where I begin seeing this pattern really explode. The intimacy grows and the expectations grow. And they start talking about a label on the relationship. They start talking about long-term thinking. They start asking deeper questions about you. Panic. Overwhelming panic. Prediction. I am either going to get exposed and mistreated and abandoned because I don't deserve love, or I am going to get rejected, hurt, and abused if you get in too close. So you're either going to hurt me because you're a bad person, or hurt me because I'm a bad person. It's one or the other. There is no hope. Okay? So reaction. I will burn this relationship to the ground before it can hurt me. I will sabotage it. We just have to break up because I'm sorry, I can't stand that you wear blue shoes. That is just unacceptable. Your brain invents reasons to break up. Your brain says, I'm just not feeling good. It actually turns off attraction. I've had men tell me that their desire for someone goes from 9 out of 10 to negative 5 out of 10 during this window for loud disorganized. Okay? Reaction. You destroy the relationship, suddenly flip to avoidant. You were overwhelmingly love bombing before. Now you're cold, glacial, even mean. And the other person is confused and hurt and responds with hurt because they don't know what they're doing. And your brain says, aha, I knew it. This relationship was unsustainable. I'm bad, and so are you. Love is bad, but I'm addicted. So I need to run away and probably find someone else to give me love instead. A new soulmate every 90 days. Loud disorganized. Okay? Kelly, is this recorded? All these live streams get mapped up on, get recorded and posted up on the YouTube channel automatically. Go to the lives section. There's a lot of them to go back through. Awareness, the neuroplasticity, Ika. Awareness, the neuroplasticity, sort of. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But here's what we have to work on. If this is your pattern, guys, You're not going to be able to fix it overnight, number one. That's why I have so many resources, so many courses right now on sale for Black Friday. That's why coaching is on sale for up to 30% off with me and my certified coaches. That's why we have assessments laid out to show you the skills you're missing. This is usually a skill issue and the experiences you would need to remap your brain and your neural pathways to fix these problems. That's why I have all of those resources available. Do not miss them on Black Friday. That pinned comment right there, the Black Friday special, check that out as we're going through this live stream. Build your bundle up to 60% off with up to 5 free gifts as well. Okay. Do not miss that. But the problem here is that you can't outthink these issues. They're faster than that. They're faster than I can snap. They're faster than I can blink. They're a tenth of a second and it's already gone. Your conscious mind runs about 3 to 5 times slower than that reaction time. That's why you don't really catch it till later if you even catch it at all. So there's a pattern interrupt protocol that you have to start with. Okay, this is one piece of the skill training you need, but you have to be able to identify it. Mindfulness, like you said, mindfulness, mindfulness, awareness, even because mindfulness won't even solve it because mindfulness is prefrontal cortex off, gone, limbic system activated. Awareness to then interrupt patterns. Most of you will interrupt patterns at the end. Then there's a big middle interrupt and then a moderate middle interrupt. You have to stack them like that and build them slowly over time. First, you identify a pattern that you do. Okay. You will probably do this, what we call post-mortem, after the conversation. After the problem has happened, you will then sit down and say, whoa, I just did that pattern Adam talks about. I just did that attachment pattern that Adam talks about. I did that thing. We had our great weekend together. He pulled back for a day or two. I panicked and I sent him 37 messages of increasing length and emotions. I see what happened here. When you identify the pattern, you say it out loud, name the pattern out loud to yourself, and then reset your nervous system. You do a physical nervous system reset. There's a number of ways to do this. Me and my coaches teach a specific progressive muscle relaxation that allows you to do this, stimulating the vagus nerve and the hindbrain and all of that together to create that difference. Okay, calm the nervous system. Then you take responsibility. This does not mean groveling or even apologizing. It means telling the person, hey, during our last conversation, I noted something that happened. It is something I'm working on. I just want to take ownership of that. This was me. I am going to be working on it, right? If you make reparations, if you have to, if something really bad happened, okay? Make reparations, build that forward. And then practice these new skills and have the conversation better a second time. Can we have that conversation better a second time? Because I want to redo that with you. That itself will begin remapping some of the brain pathways and challenging the neural pathways, challenging the beliefs, the algorithm, okay? Weakening the triggers. Your brain needs to understand that there are variables at play that you haven't tracked before. No one will ever love me. Well, that's not true. This group of people won't love me, but they don't love anyone. No one will love me when I'm hiding and secretive. Okay. No one will love me when I don't let them love me. Okay. There's variables here I can track. That begins rewriting your attachment algorithm. Chat, is that making sense? Give me a yes or a thumbs up if this is making sense so far. Okay. I would love to hear from you guys. Give me a yes if this is making sense. Okay. From there, you can then build a buffer just a little bit where your brain doesn't launch at 0.1 seconds into this pattern. It hesitates a little bit. It's calmer and says, well, what if this is one of those other patterns? When you have multiple experiences of the other person receiving you well the second time, your brain builds a little bit of a buffer and asks a question. Now you can catch it in the middle. And when the conversation doesn't go well, you can detect in your body, I'm getting really stressed. Or they might say, hey, I noticed you're getting stressed. You told me to flag that if it happens. You pause, say, can we have 20 minutes? Can we do 20 minutes? Just pause, or I'm going to go reset. I'm going to feel better, or we both need to pause. Let's both reset. Let's come back and finish this conversation stronger in the second way, the second half. Okay. Long pattern interrupt, long interrupt during. Okay. It takes time to train that. You have to have positive experiences afterward first to then build the strength and the buffer to be able to do that in the middle to catch it. Your nervous system won't let you do that most of the time until you build the after first. Okay. As you do that, you set an exact amount of time, nervous system regulate, come back, have a better conversation in the second half. You fix the conversation during, builds even more of a buffer and overcomes those pathways. As you do that, it opens up the doorway to be able to pause in the middle and go, hmm, and do a 5-second breath and humming vagus nerve stimulation, nervous system reset for 5 seconds to allow your prefrontal cortex to come back online and to allow your conscious brain to catch up with your unconscious brain or mind, rather. Okay? Make sense? You have to unlock them in those three pieces to build the buffer. As you build the buffer, you can have better experiences with persons that you trust or people that you trust, begin permanently remapping their neural pathways. Now, this is only really the beginning. This is the quick process of getting in and starting changing it fast. These aren't all the scripts that you need, all the communication approaches you need, all the awareness of how to talk to other people, how to talk to an avoidant person, for example, in more of a business-like language instead of an emotional language, how to share your boundaries with other people appropriately. All of those are skills that you also have to train in and then use to have better experiences to then remap your brain pathways again. A lot of skill training and a lot of skill usage with the right people to have new experiences that remap your brain. That's what attachment science is. That is what attachment science is. I see thumbs ups. I see yes. Excellent. First comes awareness, then neuroplasticity to change patterns. There you go. You've been listening. Exactly. That's it. That is the game. Okay. And then you work collaboratively with other people instead of doing it alone inside your head. Hey, you know what? We both know I have this pattern. When you see it, you'll see it faster than I do because my system's offline. If you see it, just flag it to me, please. Interrupt me in that moment so I can pause and breathe and then I can deal with it. Just be my eyes. That's all I ask as I'm learning to catch it, and I will fix it. That's collaborating with the other partner or the friend or the family member, whoever it is, collaboration so that you can work on it faster. That's the piece that's missing for most people. They imagine doing all of this completely, utterly alone for the rest of their life. So there we go. Kelly says, I'm retraining my nervous system. Once I saw the patterns, I stopped trusting my first responses. That's it. You have to build the awareness and the ability to even interrupt that and not trust them as well, which is good. Well done, Kelly. Make sure, everybody, as you're hearing me doing this, and it may sound overwhelming, I have built so many resources over the last 4 years to help you guys do this. Okay. The attachment courses that I've built, including the attachment style decoder, the attachment boot camp, how to love an avoidant man, which should be called how to get an avoidant man to love you, really. The secure, how to build a secure marriage video course, showing you how to build a marriage great the first time or repair it after it's broken. And the secure parenting course from chaos to calm with and parenting specialist Lisa Chan, right? All of those weave together to give you the skill trainings you need in different areas of your life at different times. They're all up for bundling right now, up to 60% off. And then all of those additional free gifts of additional resources on top of that. Now, if you don't know where your skills are weak, if you don't know what you don't know, come in for an assessment with me and my certified attachment coaches, where we go through everything and find your top skill gaps and experience gaps and say, learn this set of skills first with these people in your life and have these experiences to begin making that change happen. And if you want accelerated process and accelerated progress through this with someone guiding you constantly, that's what coaching is for. Okay? Making sense now? That's the whole ecosystem. That's what we do. So I'm going to drop in chat. If you didn't see it the first time, there's the link for the Black Friday specials that are going to be going away very quickly. That's a very limited time. Black Friday is once a year, you guys. The goal here is to make this fully accessible to everybody who needs it. I see in the comments a lot of people who say, Adam, the money just hasn't lined up yet. That's why we have payment options. Okay, payment plan things. So we have a lot of things in there. Do not miss it. Black Friday specials tagged in with payment options. There you go. You can make it work now. That makes it accessible. Keep in mind, we're still talking, and I'm going to begin taking questions from you guys here in just a moment. But my team of certified attachment specialists are coming very quickly to work on here today. We're going to have a great conversation very, very soon. At the top of the hour in 40 minutes, we're going to have a conversation about exactly the top 10 questions that our coaching clients ask us. Okay? Adam, How do I fix this problem? Adam, what do I do in this problem? What do I do when this happens, Adam? Adam, what do I do when this is going on? All the questions that we constantly get all the time from people who are afraid. We're going to answer those top 10 questions in the next hour. Okay. At noon Central Time. All of them are joining me. How to become secure attachment, which course, please? Yasmin, great question. Two options there, and actually they both weave together. First is the attachment style decoder course. That is one of the best ones. Okay. It's smaller, it's faster, it hits really hard, and it shows you exactly the scientific interrupts that you need to be doing in a way deeper level than I just went through. Okay. If you want to get fast relief now, the attachment style decoder course is a great place to begin. Now, you want a structured process to go from insecurely attached to securely attached in yourself. The attachment boot camp is there for that. The attachment boot camp walks you through the steps to become secure in yourself, secure in your friendships and relationships and family, push out toxic influences and pull in healthy ones, and then to become fully secure in romance through dating, love, and parenting. A whole comprehensive system for becoming remade secure. Okay. Let's say during this process, you have an avoidant partner. The How to Love an Avoidant Man course is great for avoidant men or avoidant women. It's great for partners who want to love them and show them a secure connection that they can then respond to and lean into. It's great for avoidant people who don't know what you want. It shows you that. And it shows both partners how to build lasting, trusting, safe intimacy together as a couple. The How to Love an Avoidant Man courses for that. Now, if you want to build an incredible marriage together, you want to become secure, build a great marriage, build a great system, and go forward for the rest of your life together over the next 50 years of joy, pleasure, and intimacy, how to build a secure marriage. Whether you're building a marriage for the first time, building a marriage for the second time, or rebuilding a marriage from the brink of divorce. How to build a secure marriage shows you how to do that. And let's say you are now focused on having children and you want to raise them securely. You weren't secure yourself, maybe you have a difficult co-parent, or you both just don't know what to do. How to regulate your nervous system and theirs and build a thriving family system, plus nervous system regulation tools for the whole family. Secure parenting course from chaos to calm. Again, with attachment and parenting specialist Lisa Chan. Check out that course. That's all 5 of them. Okay. You can bundle them together for up to 60% off. Incredible savings. I don't think we've ever offered 60% off like that before, to my memory. Okay. Plus up to 5 free gifts that get added in, scripts that you need, exact bonding processes, a calendar to follow of what to do and when to build a secure attachment process. All of this weaves together inside those bundles. So, have there been any cases that have been too difficult to repair or fix? People that don't want to. People that don't want to. That's really it. People that refuse. People that say, I'll do it next year. People that say, I don't have time for this, right? People that dismiss it with excuses. People that say, none of this works. I'm just going to stay how I am. Those are the only people that it's too difficult to fix. Listen, the human brain is meant to change. Our attachment systems are meant to change. They're meant to fluctuate. They're meant to repair. They're meant to grow deeper. This is a natural process. The people who don't want to are the ones who don't improve. Okay? Anxious wife to loudly disorganized husband, 3 kids. Lady Wildflower, I hate to say I would recommend all of the courses. Would your disorganized husband go through those with you? Would he watch any of the material? The attachment style decoder course I built in mind of people who don't like flowery emotional language, who understand science, who think that psychology is stupid, who think that all the relationship stuff is just a bunch of garbage. It is built on hard scientific fact. So the people that watch it resonate with that. I get so many men that say psychology and relationships have never made so much sense to me before. I never knew that it could make this much sense. No one's ever spoken my language before. So, Lady Wildflower, would he watch it with you? And is he skeptical of psychology and relationships? You let me know. Did you know, though? Did you know? The research on this is fascinating. If a partner makes a permanent change in the relationship for the good, permanent change, doesn't wait for the other person, makes a permanent change, draws a line, makes a good change in themselves, 76% of the time, the other partner who isn't starting with them will eventually make the same positive shift, usually within a couple months. 76% success rate on that. We need centers for boomers to go relearn attachment. That is what my channel is for. I'm also building the Attachment Institute going forward. You're going to hear a lot more about that very soon. But the Attachment Institute is built for everybody who needs to fix their attachments. How should I respond when avoidant guys seemed to like me but only spent time with me in groups, didn't ask me out, and pulled back after he suggested one-on-one? Tell me about the seemed to like me part, Lothorian. Tell me about the seemed to like me part. Because avoidant people can be incredibly charismatic and it will feel like they're overwhelmingly interested, but they're probably often managing you. So tell me more about that process. GJG, can certain if someone feels out of place or abnormal. If someone feels out of place or abnormal from their family and dwindling friend groups, does that lead to attachment issues? Generally speaking, that's from attachment issues. I feel out of place with my family. That is a lack of attachment, a lack of connection. That's an insecure connection there, is usually what that is. That's part of the problem. Do you think therapy helps? I think most forms of therapy don't operate on the correct parts of the brain. As we talked about earlier here, I've talked about therapy a couple times in this live stream so far. I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many years myself, and there can be some value in it, especially focused on some disorders. But a lot of therapy turns into talk therapy, which is expensive processing that is not doing the correct changes in the brain that you need, which is why it just turns into a weekly confessional and robs people of 10 or 20 years that they could be spending investing in their relationships or making permanent changes, which they're not. Therapy has turned into a subscription-based friend system, largely. Okay? That's a big part of the problem. He always drove me home after groups, hugged me, touched my cheeks, seemed to be caring. He opened up about family and personal things. Did you ever ask him directly about whether or not he's interested in going deeper with you? Did you ever ask him what's driving him to do these things? Did you ever say, I'm getting some signals here and I just want to make sure where we're at? Did you ever make that connection with him? Did you ever ask him what his thoughts or desires are? I would highly recommend doing so. Be very clear, very calm and direct. A lot of the problem that drives avoidant people away is that the anxious person becomes so overwhelmingly anxious and it's noticeable that it starts off-putting that avoidant person's nervous system. Their mirroring neurons click on and they feel all of your anxiety and it overwhelms them, so they back off. And the questions you don't ask lead you to get more anxious, which leads them to assume you want something secret from them because you're not asking, and then they get wary and pull back quite often. Very often. How about this, guys? For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be answering questions here for you guys. And I'll be talking about, and I'll answer your questions. Give them to me right now for the next 30 minutes. And then my coaching team will pop on 30 minutes from now. How about that? I will say, Lothorian, if you want to build a loving relationship with someone who happens to be avoidant, I would highly recommend you take my How to Love an Avoidant Man video course. Okay, right now it is on super special for Black Friday. Click that link and pick it up. But inside there, what you're going to see is why their oxytocin receptors are blocked and what you can begin doing with them to open those receptors back up. The course says How to Love an Avoidant Man. It should be called How to Help an Avoidant Man See You, Love You, and Meet Your Needs. Now, there's not a great market for a course called that. It's How to Love an Avoidant Man. An avoidant man won't watch a course with you that teaches you how to get him to love you. But if you sit down with an avoidant partner later and say, hey, would you watch this course with me? How to Love an Avoidant Man? Well, that's like useful instruction for my girlfriend. Yes, I would like you to learn how to love me better, right? It's a little bit less threatening, typically that way, which is why I named it that, so that you could watch it together with a partner. But you can watch that on your own, absolutely, and then start implementing it. Lady Wildflower, we scheduled a meeting for Monday. Financially, a very difficult place right now. Husband's willing to work. I hear that. No, I hear that loud and clear. Black Friday specials are running right now. I want to take care of you, but you've scheduled a meeting, it sounds like probably with my team. Excellent. We will figure out how to take care of you. Okay. We will figure out how to take care of you. Let's get that work done so you guys can be loving together and peaceful together. Faithful, Faithful Jones. Question: do the attachment styles apply to non-romantic relationships, familiar and friendships? Absolutely yes. However, understand that your behavior cycles will manifest differently in different relationship types. Where pressure is high, your attachment pattern will get worse. Where pressure is low, your attachment pattern will get better. You'll seem more secure. You'll seem calmer. You'll seem secure with people. Remember that you have an attachment style, and then every relationship also has an attachment behavior. Am I securely attached to Steve because he's my friend? Cool. I am not securely attached to Ashley because I am constantly paranoid she's going to leave me. Right? Insecure attachment here in the partnership area, secure attachment here with a friend. I'm not worried that Steve is going to leave me, divorce me, take half my stuff. Right? He's a cool dude that I see for pizza night. Pressure is less. Feels secure. My pattern shows up here. Make sense? Your patterns and your styles will show up differently in different relationships. How to sign up for the course to fix my anxious attachment style to secure one. I was. Miss Sunbeam, 2 courses that you can take. I recommend both of them. I'm going to post it right here. The attachment style decoder is fantastic for understanding the initials through scientific data about why attachment styles form, how they grow, how to interrupt them, the skills you need to begin fixing them, exactly what steps you can take now to make change. If you want a full program to become completely securely attached, remade secure, Miss Sunbeam, pick up the attachment boot camp. Both of them, when you put them together in the bundle, you save a lot more. Okay? You save a lot more when you put those together in the bundle. Plus, you start getting free gifts. I would highly recommend picking up those two. Now, if you have a tendency, let's say, to attract avoidant partners, also pick up the How to Love an Avoidant Man video course. If you want an assessment with me and my coaches, pick up the Ultimate Bundle with an assessment. All of these fit together. Depends how fast you want to change. I'm here to help. Fear FA. Okay, fearful of what we call loud disorganized. I've been dating, and thank you, Andrea. I've been dating for a year. Fearful avoidant DA, I've been dating for a year, has gone through EMDR therapy off and on for 5 years. 5 years of EMDR? I see the off and on part. That explains a little bit. How best to connect? I'm secure, but I keep attracting this type and will break the pattern. Andrea, I highly recommend inside the How to Love an Avoidant Man video course. It shows you how to build the lowest friction relationship for a person who happens to have avoidant tendencies. None of this is catering. None of it's walking on eggshells. None of it's mothering. I am firmly against all three of those things. Okay. It is how to build a secure relationship and then invite them into it. At which point it is their responsibility to calm down enough and enter that relationship and meet your needs. But it's how you can create that safe, secure environment without catering, without mothering, and then how to speak to them in a very precise, measurable language about emotional topics in a way that doesn't bounce off of their overgrown prefrontal cortex that shuts down emotional understanding, but instead goes in through their logical left brain and hits in areas that they understand much better. So, how to communicate effectively with them. I would I had How to Love and Avoid Men course, but relations going through, he's FA. That should help. You know what might help even more? If he's gone through EMDR with you, you may want to sit down and either go through the attachment style decoder course with him, heavy scientific focus, very little emotional focus, very intense science. Most men, it resonates so powerfully with them, it changes their life. That's a great way to ease into the attachment piece. Or the How to Build a Secure Marriage video course. How to build a secure marriage. As you ease forward in a relationship, setting up properly, setting up roles together, what you're going to be doing together, a legacy focus, a mission focus, the proper bonding cycles, how to deal with attachment challenges as a couple, romance. It is the ultimate romantic experience to build a lifelong intimate bond. I would recommend one of those two, or both, depending on what he's willing to go through with you. Those are what I would recommend, Andrea. But it's going to show you what you need from him. The marriage course will also show you what a man needs to be providing for you in the relationship so that you don't fall into that trap of just cycling on catering or mothering. I don't want that for you either. I'm an FA woman. Do we tend to be impulsive so we can skip the emotional aspects? For example, when you get married at a courthouse to avoid the vulnerability it comes with. Quite often, right? Swinging between I want the most lavish, amazing marriage of all, wedding of all time to proclaim my love, but at the same time, I hate it and I don't ever want that to happen. Right? Get me away from it. That's also part of the process. So, yes, very commonly, I want the emotional and intimate connection, but I don't want to be vulnerable and seen. That is very, very, very common. Wow, that's interesting insight. I like how to put on a scale of healthy workability. There you go. There you go, Becky. There you go. And thank you. Yasmin, when attracted to unavailable ones or those who don't really want relationships, which course please to be attracted by a normal one? Ah, two things I would recommend for you, Yasmin. Two things. One is the attachment boot camp. It is a structured program to walk you through becoming securely attached, how to date and find secure partners, how to switch that desire from I like unavailable people to no, I only want secure people, how to switch that desire, and then build a secure romance together, an overall structure for you. Okay, number one, that's an option. Number two is how to build a secure marriage so that you see what a romantic relationship is supposed to be. And then you can begin mapping that out in your brain of does this person fit this perfect blueprint? Everybody out there right now, drop a me in chat if you never grew up with an exact blueprint of what a loving marriage is supposed to look like step by step, how to build it, how to overcome problems, what the exact pieces of it are. If you don't know that, drop a me in chat because that's why I built the How to Build a Secure Marriage video course. How to build a secure marriage. It's a structured blueprint program. Okay, you got to go through that and understand it. But drop a me in chat if you feel like you never learned that. Most people didn't. Natal. Uh, Hi, Adam. What can be done when your partner doesn't receive your opinion or your feelings into account because they're avoidant? So it depends. If they are just closed off, they are not seeing how to connect with you as a partner, so they're just kind of like walled off and emotionally distant. If they are passive aggressive, mean, dismissive, and especially contemptuous, that's more of a manipulative approach, and that's a concern that may not be fixable at that point, but it's fixable if they choose to fix it with you. You have to start having proper boundaries with them, which means you are settling for that for some sort of reason you need to fix. Why are you allowing that? Why are you allowing them to dismiss you and be contemptuous? That would be a big concern. That's a question you'll need to answer. Okay. If you need help with understanding why, me and my coaches do assessments on that all the time. You can sign up for an assessment with us at that comment pinned right there. EMDR therapy for me here. I've been doing it 6 months. I have a hard time with not falling into mothering. Becky, yeah, EMDR is great for resolving fears and pains. I love EMDR, but it doesn't show you what to do. It removes the traumas that drive you, but doesn't show you the next steps. And mothering usually comes in because that belief in your head of I'm only worth what I give to people. And unfortunately, a lot of women fall into the trap of thinking men change for the reasons women change. Women change for love, connection, and nurturing. When women are loved, connected, and nurtured, they start to change for the positive. Men don't. Men change when they see problems and then they adapt to the problem. Most women spend so much time mothering them that there are no problems to solve. The message you send is, you are perfect. Don't ever change. And that's the process. So mothering actually ruins the relationship typically for both of you. Even avoidant men, I mean, men I talk to, they can't stand being mothered because it just turns you into this like happy little robot that serves them. And they know you're not happy on the inside, but you look like it on the outside. So then it feels fake and empty. Even good men hate mothering, right? They don't hate you, but I mean, they hate mothering. So that's part of that process. How many years on average does it take to become securely attached? It is a continuously changing process. It does change based on the person. The research on this is really fascinating. If you follow Dr. Caroline Leaf and her neurobiological research, 58 to 63 days to remap patterns, individual patterns, and there's a lot of individual patterns to remap with attachment, we find that it typically takes 1 to 3 years for the average person to fully reprogram and become fully remade secure with resolving all the feelings and challenges underneath. But that's not you wait 3 years and you feel miserable and then boof, you feel amazing one day. It's continuous growth, relief, joy, pleasure, and then retraining, reprogramming, learning skills, and growing. Okay, so it's typically about 1 to 3 years is the cycle for most people if you lean into the process and if you really get it done. Dilly, how is someone supposed to pair bond after people's relations? So many people, I thought the stats showed more partners. No, so the research out there, this is a good point. People claim that the research shows that because you are oxytocin bonding with partners too much, you cannot successfully pair bond after a certain number of people you've partnered with. I would like for anybody to explain to me how we could possibly measure that in a laboratory setting. No. So what we have instead is as people's number of partners increases, they tend to not be able to form secure connections. Mhm. So that's a correlation that makes sense if we say the more a person is unable to form secure connections, the more likely they are to be promiscuous and have a lot of partners because they don't know how to form connections and they don't see value in connection. This is something that we see called correlation. Things can be correlated. Did you know that 100% of people who drink water die? It sounds pretty terrifying. Makes me want to stop drinking water, right? Correlation does not prove causation. Now, the more partners you have often does indicate that you don't have secure connection. Until you fix secure connection, it's not likely to improve. But we do know, for example, that that correlation, the more partners you have, the worse your relationship prospects, right? That actually fixes if you pause for a period of time and don't have new partners for a period of time. And it's not just the gap that does it, because people who usually pause in that cycle are often doing extensive self work, growth, mindfulness, attachment work, all kinds of things. And then they have higher, better relationship outcomes afterward. That's usually the process. So, love the question, Dilly. Love the question. Not coming down on you in particular. But I love that question because I get it a lot. We can't take someone in a laboratory setting, make them biochemically bond through sex to 50 people, and then afterwards say, okay, now can you form a marriage, right? That's not a thing that can actually be done. So anyone who quotes that research at you has no idea what they're talking about. Okay. But we do know there's a correlation between not being able to bond and being promiscuous. And that is not a stab at anyone who has a promiscuous past. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm just letting you know correlation. Okay. Thank you, Adam, for your help and your support. You offer people a chance to change personal relationships. You're very welcome, Miss Sunbeam. Very, very welcome. And I want it to be accessible to everybody, which is why Black Friday we go as deep as we can into the discounts, right? It's why we put everything up and say up to 60% off courses, all these free gifts, up to 30% off coaching, assessments, everything. I want it to be accessible for anybody who can't access it during most of the year. That's what this is about. Okay. Again, payment plans, everything. Click that the pinned comment, the Black Friday special. Make sure you guys check it out. Do not miss that. Okay. But Miss Sunbeam, you are very welcome. And everybody else, you're very welcome. Palvarez, after learning he is an FA, I started to create a peaceful environment for him to come back to. It wasn't like this at the beginning because I wasn't aware what would make him still retreat. Can you ask him that? Can you sit him down and say, I love you so much. I want to create a peaceful environment where you always feel, don't say safe, men don't like that word, where you always feel at peace, where you can feel at rest with me. I want to create that. I'm not sure exactly what will do that for you. Can you come up with a couple of ideas? If not right now, then in the next day or two, can you come up with some things that would help? If you're not sure, can we look at some resources that might offer some information? Adam Lane Smith has those resources, by the way. I have the How to Love an Avoidant Man course, which often does work for fearful avoidance, what we call loud disorganized, right? So I highly recommend, Palvarez, that you look at that. P.A. Alvarez, sorry. Um, I'm running it together in my head, but I would highly recommend checking that out. Okay. That will help. Becky, thank you, Adam. I appreciate that insight. You're very welcome, Becky. I'll be more aware of what it takes to develop healthier attachment. There you go. Why are insecure men generally avoidant? The research actually shows that it might be changing. So, in the past, men were more avoidant, and that serves a great survival focus for men to become hyper self sufficient, solo, lone wolf sort of thinkers. But in modern structures, after the last 120 years of destruction of the family systems, a lot of men are being raised by insecurely attached single mothers and female systems and female teachers and blah, blah, blah without masculine influences. So a lot of men are instead becoming anxiously attached, which a lot of women then are reflecting on that and becoming avoidantly attached. So we're seeing the two switch quite often, unfortunately. Thanks a lot. I'm in a long marriage and sometimes I don't understand how to relate in a healthy, loving way. Natal Dib, I totally hear that. That is exactly why I built the How to Build a Secure Marriage video course. For anybody at any stage of marriage, even almost toward the end where it feels hopeless, how to go through that and build a complete structured marriage that thrives. The one real system that does that, proven. Okay. It's on sale right now for Black Friday. I feel like I'm repeating myself a bit, but that's okay. I want you guys to hear it because I don't want anyone to miss it. Adam, I didn't know it was on special. No, pick it up. Pick it up. If they will go through that with you, Natal Dib, if they'll go through it step by step in the videos, watch them 20 minutes a day. Start building a better marriage. What's the best way to invite my spouse to participate in this program? Ooh, good question. A lot of people focus on the negatives. Well, you're kind of avoidant, and I think this will help us. Well, I'm kind of anxious, and maybe it'll fix us. Outcomes. Hey, I have I found this program, and they say that they have the proven method for building a marriage where you have sex like 3 times a week, even in your 50s and 60s, and you both love it, where you are peaceful and safe together, where every conversation is very streamlined and uses like business language so you don't get off into the weeds with emotional stuff, where you feel completely relaxed with each other, and where you can finally connect so that you don't have to ever worry about divorce or fighting again. It doesn't make it perfect, but it builds like this life together. I would really be excited to go through this program with you. Is that something you'd be up for? Sales 101 is pitching the dream state, right? Pitching the dream state. If they don't respond to that because they say, yeah, right, that's too much. Okay, hey, you know what? I really love you a lot. A lot of the time, it often feels like you and I are stuck going in circles. I think we really care about each other, but I think that we're stuck. I found this program that's supposed to help us get beyond that. It's not about blaming anyone. It's 100% based on science instead of feelings. Could we go through this together? Are you open to even watching a YouTube video with me from this guy and seeing if that resonates with you? And if it is, we can have a meeting with his team. They'll go through some options with us. We can pick whichever one feels best. Can we do that? Remember that my team here is here, by the way, guys, to hop on a call. If you guys want to hop on a call and see what our options are, we also have that available. You can email us support@adamlanesmith.com. We are here for that. Pitch the pain to them and then fix the pain, or pitch the dream state to them and then tell them it's possible. All of those things are true, by the way, but no one really likes to hear, hey, look, you're avoidant and that sucks. And I think that this will fix you. Can we go through this together? That's the worst possible way, which is what your brain imagines. You got to kind of help them understand what they're going to get out of it. What's in it for them? Think of it that way. And remember, again, you can have a call with my team and they can be there and they can learn about the program there. Hey, would you want to watch this video from this guy? Okay, you're not ready to invest financially. He said we can just set up a call with his team and they'll go through options with us. Are you open to that call? Okay, we're on the call. They laid out some options. What do you think? Does this feel like a right fit for you? Right? A lot of times me and my team can help with a spouse who's not like fully on board yet. A lot of times we can help if you can bring them to a call. So feel like I've been with this man. I feel like I've been with this man I never fully trusted, never fully attracted to. Seems like we've been together so long it's hard to separate. Don't want him physically 23 years. No intimacy. Okay. No intimacy the past 3 years. Well, just like your name is, there is hope. I hear that loud and clear. It sounds like you're falling for right up here, my book, Exhausted Wives, Bewildered Husbands. You might want to pick up a copy of Exhausted Wives, Bewildered Husbands. It's on Amazon right now. You might want to pick that up. Now, that will walk you through in 100 pages what destroys marriages. That will show you that. I built that book back when I was a licensed marriage and family therapist working in a clinic before I did all the attachment work I've done over the last several years, right? Teaching it, I mean, growing this. I was just a therapist applying attachment science in a clinical setting instead. That book is a great place to start. You can also get that book for free in the bundles when you pick up courses, by the way. So if you pick up the How to Build a Secure Marriage video course, for example, and the Attachment Styles Decoder course, click in together, pick up that book for free as a gift, for example. That would be a great place to start. But there is hope coming back from that. Me and my team work with couples all the time, coming back from 23 years, no intimacy in 10 years, right? No trust, no bonding, but they don't want to get divorced, but they don't know what to do. We have those couples come in all the time for me and my coaches. We are here to help for that. Not a problem. JGJ was going through a relationship group coaching earlier in the year. The lady in charge directed me to look into trauma therapy. EMDR can be fantastic, JGJ. EMDR can help overwrite some of the fears that are programmed into your brain that act as preventative trauma behaviors that don't allow you to have the conversations that you would like to have. That can be very important. P.A. Alvarez. Thank you. I'll try that. The last time I saw him was September 28th. Ooh, after a month away. He tried reaching out November 3rd, but I could not welcome him back in my life. I'm healing AA. Got you. Got you loud and clear. Okay. Um, so you're separated in that way. Um, would be a really great time potentially for you to do some coaching. You might need some accelerated coaching for us to be able to help you with that. In about 8 minutes, my coaches are going to jump on. You're going to see us talking. You're going to see us relating and see us answering the top 10 most common questions we get. They'll have that structure and you'll see who I'm working with and who I've handpicked and certified as my attachment coaches. Very much would recommend you consider working with them. Right now, those coaching programs are up to 30% off, payment plan options and things like that available as well. But a lot of people come in right where you're at and they don't know how to fix things. We show them. It begins with a deep assessment on the skills you're missing and the experiences you've never had that would remap your brain and show you exactly why things aren't improving. Then we walk you forward step by step quickly to help you build secure attachment so that you can have the conversations you want, but even just decide what you want. Maybe you haven't really decided what you actually want in your relationships yet, and that's one reason you're so stuck. That can be it too. So we are here to help. If that's something that's useful to you, and I know it will be, send us an email. Support@adamlanesmith.com is a great way to get started. Or if you click that Black Friday link right there, it has two options, right? Self-paced learning and then the coaching program. Click on the coaching program. Click there. It opens it up. You contact us. We'll help. We'll get you started. Okay. We can get a call. We can probably get on a call sometime. Me and my team can get on a call with you probably this weekend, right? Today, tomorrow. We're trying really quick to get everyone in as fast as we can to help them. So all of that's there. Becky, exciting. Yeah, I'm excited to I've never been able to bring my entire team together all at once, I believe, onto one big live stream. There's going to be a lot of us here. It's going to be very, very exciting. I don't want anyone to miss that. Okay, so this will be a wonderful experience. Everybody here, about 5 minutes. My coaches are coming in. Any last questions that you guys might have? Okay. Once my coaches are here, I have 10 exact questions to have them. I've been saving these questions. These are the questions we get most often from our coaching clients, the people who are coming in all the time trying to get help, the people who are struggling in their relationships, people who are afraid, people who just don't know what their options even are, or if it's okay to ask for things. Okay, we're going to go through that with our team. I'm going to ask those questions. You guys are going to get some of the answers you haven't dared to ask me here today, to be honest with you. A little bit of caffeine to keep the day going. You know what I mean? How's everybody out there doing right now? Everybody drop me a 1 to 10. I love this practice. This is a good skill to learn. Let's do it right now. 1 to 10. How's your day going so far? With one being, it is the worst day of my life. I have a splitting migraine. My dog stole my car and ran over my grandma. Right? Like, it's the worst day of my life. 10 being, I am so deliriously happy that I can't even manage it right now. I'm manic with joy right? Probably a good day is about 7, and a really good day is about 8 out of 10. A really rough day is probably about 4 out of 10. And an ongoing series of awful days is probably 3 out of 10. 2 out of 10 is where you're actively thinking about calling a divorce lawyer, by the way. 2 out of 10. One is where you actually call them and get things on the books, typically. So, okay, I see some sevens. Some sevens, all right. 7 out of 10. Anyone else feel brave? Anyone else want to brave the system? Right? 1 to 10 is something my wife and I do. I've been married 17 years. We do 1 to 10 because instead of like, how's your day going? It's fine. What the heck does that mean? Like, hey, what kind of day are you having? 1 to 10. It's like a 7. Nice. That's awesome. Mine's like an 8. Wow, that's awesome. Why an 8? Well, I had this and this. Oh, that's cool. Right? See the difference in the conversation? See the difference in the reception and the understanding? I love numbers. Numbers are so important. Was a 4, now that you're live, 6. Well, thank you, Dilly. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that this has helped. I hope the next hour is even better. 5, a couple of 5s. Okay, so not great, but not terrible quite yet. Okay, I hope your day turns around. I honestly hope that it does. An 8. Ooh, I love that. Okay, I love that. That is beautiful. An 8 is a darn good day. All right. So my coaching team is getting ready to pop in here pretty quick. Let's say about 2 minutes from now. 2 minutes. My coaching team's coming in. An 8. Miss Sunbeam, an 8. That's awesome. I love that. An 8 is a good day. Okay. Enough caffeine. Enough caffeine. I'm going to switch to the water. Right? Got to make the good choices in life. Switch over to the water. Now, everybody, right? I found you on TikTok, started following you. That's awesome. One thing I have come across that others say when they come back with breadcrumbs not to engage, others say to welcome them back. Yeah, no, I'll solve that debate. Peaceful environment, that hasn't worked. You have a conversation with them where you say, hey, I love you. You're fantastic. I would love to invite you back in. For us to make that happen, I'd like to talk about what happened, just peacefully, and find a resolution because I don't want to go through this disconnection anymore. It hurts, but I also don't want you to feel trapped. So welcoming them back in with a peaceful environment also needs to include proper discussions and boundaries. There is no catering or mothering. Okay, catering and mothering is just quietly, passively allowing them to wander back into your life like a cat who left through the cat door and didn't come back for 3 days and then came back missing an eye and has lipstick all over its tail for some reason. And you don't get to ask why. Right? Makes sense? Enjoying a chai this morning. Nice. A good solid chai can get the day going. All right. Coaching team popping in any minute now. I'm looking forward to this conversation as they come in one by one. Here we go. Uh-oh. I am going to get this rolling really quick. Let's see who pops in. Let's have this conversation. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make sure the waiting room is there. And I'm going to let people in one by one as they come in. There we go. Otherwise, we get note takers in here. The way of the world today, isn't it? All right. Coaches are going to be popping in one by one. Chat, welcome them as they roll in. It's going to be a good day. Jeremy, welcome to the live stream. We are already live. Surprise. Here you are. I've been live streaming for the last almost hour and a half. Everybody's warmed up for you. How's your day going so far, Jeremy?
I'm doing well, Adam. How are you?
I am doing fantastic over here, man. It is good to see your face. I know
Absolutely.
that you are living attachment over there on your side every day. I got the crowd warmed up for you, my friend. I hope they love you as much as I do. Today,
Awesome.
I have a lot of questions to ask you and the rest of the team as you pop in. We're going to be going through the 10 most common questions that our clients ask us. Two of them from each one of you guys as well. I'm going to pitch them over to you. So we're going to see the effect of training. You guys get almost like a view behind the training scenes here as I ask them these questions pieces as we roll through. But I have complete faith in my coaching team. We got people rolling in. We're going to have a bunch of us here on this call. Chat, welcome in Jeremy. Welcome in Alyssa. Hey, Alyssa, we are already live. There you go. Surprise. Here comes Lisa as well. Already live streaming on my side. Here comes Irina and Linda. Love it. Welcome everybody in. All six of us, all six attachment specialists in one place. Maybe not for the first time ever, but for the first time on a live stream. It's good to see you guys. We are live and in charge, so I'm glad you all showed up, ready to rock. I was hoping that none of you would show up and say, "Oh, when are we starting?" Right? And then you have to, you have to quickly fix whatever it is. So thank you for showing up on time and being perfect as you are. Chat, say hi to everybody in here. Chat, just give us a hi, give us a wave. We got people watching us right now. Now, I have my wonderful coaches here, Jeremy, Alyssa, Linda, Lisa, and Arena. In no particular order. That's how you've showed up on my screen. That's why I'm naming it that way. Um, I have many questions to ask you guys. We have collected 10 of the most common questions that our clients ask us in coaching. I'm going to be going through those and asking you guys probably two each, right? So that we can really show everybody out there in this world what attachment is all about. Chat's going wild. They're all saying hi over there. They're cheering for you guys. Love to see it. Let's see. Who's my first victim? Who should I ask first? I love this. All of our coaches chat out there, all of them have been live streaming lately. They live stream over on Instagram. Alyssa live streams on TikTok, right? We're dragging them up on here for this too. So, questions. Irina, I'm going to go with you first. Okay. Let me ask you a question. And I have it written down here. So let's do this. When a couple comes to you, okay, they come to you because they keep having the same fight over and over and over. How do you help them understand what's actually happening beneath the surface? What are you listening for that they're not hearing themselves?
Thank you, Adam, for these questions. Hello, everyone. My name is Irina. And okay, so when couples come in fighting with the same thing over and over again, whether it's the dishes or the time together or the money, whatever it is, I'm not listening for the content of the fight. It's just the surface. What I'm listening for is the attachment one that's underneath it. So the same fight repeating means both people are dysregulated. Their nervous system are staying in a chronic state of threat detection around each other. It's almost like they're hyper vigilant towards each other. So something little can just throw them off and they start fighting and it repeats and repeats. So, and cortisol spikes. And then the rational conversations, they become impossible. So it's almost it's offline. I think Adam said it many times. It goes offline. So, and then, I look for patterns as well. So the anxious avoidant couples, I'm watching for the pursuit and withdraw cycle. And one person pursues for connection, or resolution. The other feels overwhelmed and withdraws. And then there is this chase and so it triggers even more desperate pursuit from the anxious person, and it triggers more withdrawal. So neither person is actually hearing the other, and they're just both reacting to the attachment fears. So I'm also listening what's not being said. And a lot of times, if you think about it, any fight that you might have, it's the unmet need. Okay, so I'm looking, what is that need? I'm trying to figure out what is the other person needs from what one person needs from the other person. So, and but the reason they're not expressing their need is because they're afraid of the response. So they're protecting themselves instead of connecting. So the real fight isn't about what they're arguing, it's about safety. Does my partner care about my pain? Can I trust them? What I actually need. So that's where the work begins. And we address the nervous system regulation first.
I love
And
this.
then, yes.
Such an eloquent answer, and that's when I started training you way back. When you told me that, I mean, that's the work you've been doing. This is why I wanted to pull you in because you get this as deeply as I do. This is fantastic, right? Your experience is amazing, but that answer right there, chat, tell me, did that hit with you? Does that make sense to you guys? Are you both feeling a bit dysregulated? This is not you having to take all the blame, by the way, but do you feel yourself get activated in those conversations? Do you know that you're sparking, maybe more than you'd like to? Do you know you're contributing to it? How great would it be if someone was right in front of you, pointing out to both of you how you were actively dysregulating each other and then how to interrupt that pattern forever? That's exactly what Arena does. Thank you, Arena. That's a lovely question and a lovely answer. I love that. Thank you for that. Jeremy, I'm going to pick on you next. I'm going to pick on you, buddy. You've been doing this with me for a long time, and you have a long history of training and teaching people. For an anxious man in particular, let's do this. For an anxious man, why is it so challenging for him to maintain not only romantic relationships, but his friendships as well? What makes that so hard?
So when it comes to anxious attachment specifically in men, the biggest weak point that I see with them is they go into these relationships and they have this lack of self-worth, if they want to call it that, where they feel like they're the weakest link. So they go into these relationships with these people that they may already have a pretty sustainable relationship with them, but because they go into it with anxious attachment, they feel like they have to constantly earn it. And so they're constantly pushing and pushing and pushing, and they're not expressing needs. They feel they're afraid that they're going to show up as a burden or that they're going to disappoint the other person. So instead of showing up as themselves, they try to go through and they try to manage that other person. They try to manage their emotions. They try to manage how other people are viewing them. And people, if you're avoidant people aren't going to like that straight off the jump because they don't like having to be managed. They don't like having to feel like there's those covert contracts, like the person's not being straightforward with you. But then also, if you're a secure person, you're going to be able to smell that out from a mile away, and it's going to cause there to be a breach of trust when it comes to those relationships.
And this is exactly what we covered in the attachment style decoder course, right? The attachment algorithm and the attachment pattern. You get triggered, you get set off, you predict something terrible is going to happen, you react badly, you cause that thing to happen, and then it reforms that loop that says, I should have been even more scared than I already am. And that's what ultimately drives away that person that avoidant, that anxious man is trying to connect with, whether it's a friend or a partner, over and over, right?
Yeah,
Everybody out
absolutely. And
there.
it's like the whole idea of people talk about too, like you have that glass thing in your hand, and you have it's the relationship. And there's nothing wrong with it, but for whatever reason, you feel like you have to hold it tighter and tighter and tighter, and you either end up suffocating the relationship itself, or if it's glass, you shatter the relationship and then you cut yourself in the process.
Right. And the other person's in there too. The other person has their own style. They're set off by you. They're activated by you. They're running away
Yeah.
too. It's usually not one person being the problem, unless we make it sound that way. It's all of us fitted together in the wrong ways. That's exactly why with coaching, when we pull people in, we show you how to interrupt that immediately. Everybody out there, I want to remind you, I've been saying it a lot, but I don't want you to miss it. Coaching with any of these people right here is up to 30% off right now for Black Friday. I do not want you to miss this. Even if you just step in for a full deep assessment with us where we show you every skill you've been missing, we show you your patterns, we show you where to interrupt them, and then we show you exactly which experiences you need to remap your attachment forever. One attachment assessment with any of these coaches will change your life. Then you decide for yourself if you want to roll forward into the programming with us. That's included in those bundles with courses or standalone, or just jump in. Just start talking to us. Okay. You can even hop on a call with Jeremy and figure out if this is going to be a good fit for you, right? It'd be great. All right. Great question and great answer there, Jeremy. I love that. Okay. Um, Lisa, you are an incredible expert when it comes to parenting. I've been in awe of the way that you apply attachment science specifically into building secure connection for their children. I love focusing on adult relationships, so I'm relieved to have you on the team as well so that you can really help on the small people angle, right? All of that. So, Lisa, can you tell me, is it possible to securely parent your child if you aren't secure yourself?
Thank you, Adam. Yeah, I get this question a lot from parents who tell me, well, I want to work on myself first before I start helping my kids. The truth is, you can absolutely still securely parent your kids. And I would even say that it's something that you need to do immediately. It shouldn't be something where you're putting off learning how to securely parent your kids because you want to secure yourself first, because this is the critical period. Your children are building their attachment right now. I'm guessing that they're born already. If you're not a parent yet, then that's a different story. But if you are a parent with kids, it's absolutely critical that you're learning the skills. And it really is skills that you need to understand of how to show up differently, how your patterns are showing up in your own behaviors towards your kids. And that's what's going to help to create that stability for them as you're working on yourself. So, a lot of that work that I do is helping you see your own patterns and then seeing how they're showing up with your kids and work. Because once you can do that, this is how you're resilient kids who feel stable in your presence, who know what they know what from you, and that create that long-term relationship with them as adults.
I love that. One thing that you and I have talked about, and that I love your perspective on, is it is never too late to help your kids as their parent. You are always their parent, whether they're 5 years old or 45 years old, right? We get that question a lot too, is what if I've already screwed up my kids and they're 25? What do I do
Yeah.
now? Is it just over? Do I have to hope for the next generation? You are always their parent, and you can always, if they're open to it, always help them build secure, loving attachment. You are their primary person for life in that regard, right? You can always come back to it. Beautiful. Love that answer. Thank you, Lisa. A lot of people out there right now, you're probably struggling in your relationships, and you know that your kids are there seeing it. A lot of people hesitate to come in just for parenting work because the romantic angle is so overwhelming to them right now. They just want to stop the bleeding over here in romance first, and they'll get to the parenting thing eventually. I know it feels overwhelming. Lisa is the perfect resource to come in and start fixing in yourself and helping your child at the same time, which has incredible ripple effects in your romantic life, by the way, whether it's with the parent of your children or somebody else. Doing you and your family has such lasting impact on romance. I can't even begin to tell you guys. It is not a bad place to begin on you and your kids. Not at all. You're not missing anything that way. Lisa, great, great, great. Thank you. Alyssa, I'd love to talk with you. I've had you on the
Hi.
channel here a couple of times. Chat always loves you. Chat, can you give it up for Alyssa?
Woo, woo,
Give her a
woo.
woo.
Can you
Cheer.
hear me actually? Is my
I can
mic
hear
good?
you. I can hear you
Yes.
perfectly. Actually, your mic is better than usual. That's even great. You've updated since last time. It's all the live streams you've been doing. I
Must
love
be.
that. Alyssa, what what was a childhood like for a typical loud, disorganized man? Let's jump there. What does it mean for his romantic relationships as an adult? The experiences he had, map it through. Show me a loud, disorganized, or chat what you guys would call fearful avoidant. Tell me that, Alyssa.
I love that you're asking this, Adam. This is my favorite topic to talk about is loud, disorganized men. It's actually the attachment style that I'm specializing in, so you've asked the right question. These men are very interesting as children. What I've actually seen in my work with them is that they usually had at least one caregiver who had NPD-like tendencies. So that means that maybe they actually had narcissistic personality disorder, or they had tendencies that were similar, highly psychologically manipulative, very stoic but explosive, maybe using praise as a way to praise the child for them, for their own sense of image, their own value, but not actually providing the emotional connection that the child needs. And what I've also seen, and I haven't actually spoken to you about this, Adam, so it'll be interesting to check this with you, but I've actually seen that there are two subtypes for the loud, disorganized attachment style child. And what I've seen is that there is either the child went high into people pleasing. I need to do everything possible to please you, make you happy, manage your feelings, predict everything, make sure that I can take care of all of your needs. And what that would result in is a child that is actually more outcasted in the school system, more isolated, more of an outcast, which is really fascinating. So I have male loud disorganized clients who have this experience, but I also have the other subtype, which is the class clown. So either the child's nervous system learns to highly please their caregiver with NPD tendencies or to present more like ODD, oppositional defiant disorder. They become the class clowns. So, and they also are more likely to be on the front lines in the military. These men are bulldozers. They're on the front lines, taking the initial hits for everyone else. And then what I notice is the avoidant people are just behind trying to like make things sustainable, not necessarily taking the initial hits. So what that means though, later in life for these men is they actually are more likely to attract a woman who is stoic, or more emotionally contained, like that one caregiver. So what's interesting about that is that stoicism or that avoidant women have more of a cap on their emotional expression. It's not so much expression, especially during conflict. And so that actually indicates a degree of safety or comfort to them because it's familiar, but it's also mysterious. And they find that very mysterious in avoidant women. And so when they date avoidant women, they actually want to scoop them up real fast. You're mine, I'm taking you. when they date anxious women, they're actually a little bit more resistant, a little bit slower. I don't know if I want this. I might lose my autonomy. They actually lean a little bit more like a dismissive avoidant or what we call ethical avoidant. So I could talk about this for so long. I want to make sure I don't take too much time, but it's very interesting to work with these men. They have a lot of challenges, but in my work with them, I've seen that they are wonderful people. It's just that they haven't learned how to communicate their needs in a way that avoidant people can understand or that a woman can understand. So they use a lot of criticism, resentment, even mean words to try to get their needs met, which is really unfortunate, but it's a buildup of not feeling considered and not feeling like the give and take is fair. And that's a deep pain for them. So they simultaneously have anxious and avoidant tendencies. But if you find one that's not too extreme on the loud, disorganized spectrum, they're completely worth it. These are wonderful, wonderful men. They will lay down their life for your family. But there are a few things they need to work on, and they really need a woman that's relatively secure enough. So maybe slightly avoidant, but relatively secure. So that means that she is able to manage her own emotions, and has minimal anxiety, which is one of the things that will set him off, is when she is unstable, when she is feeling anxious and not confident. So securely attached enough women are the sweet spot for these men so that they can actually overcome some of these challenges, learn to regulate emotionally, learn to communicate his needs clearly in a way that she can understand, and also work on some of this unique mental faculty they have of under cortisol in relationship conflict. Their brain will actually process all of the past times in which everyone has done this to me, or how this is an image of the world and the conditions of our reality. Like it's this whole thing, and only this attachment style does that. But they have to work to manage that because they don't understand that what they're doing with their emotions impacts people, and that their words impact people. So that's what I see with loud, disorganized men. I would say be careful of the ones that are very extreme in this direction. It'll look more like a personality disorder and is unworkable. But for those that are a little bit more mild, medium spice, I think they're pretty workable.
I
So
hear
that's
that.
what I have to say on that. Thanks,
I know
Adam.
you've done extensive work with these people. They're fantastic, and they're usually some of the kindest people on the planet, and they're so
Yeah,
stuck in their own head and their own patterns, these men that
yeah.
we work with. Chat, I know a few of you had said that you've been, or that you have a fearful, avoidant, or loud, disorganized man. Sound off in chat. Let me know. Not sound off. You don't say it on a live stream. Shout out in chat if you guys, see, I already did it. If sound out in chat if you guys are with a fearful, avoidant, loud, disorganized, you know this experience, you've had this experience. Alyssa comes in and helps those guys in a huge way.
Mhm.
They really resonate with you. Like
Yeah.
it's the avoidant woman impact almost for you. If you're
Yeah.
like, look, we're not putting up with this behavior right now.
Yes.
What are you doing to get back on track? They love that.
Yes, totally. Yeah.
I've
And
seen you
it's
thrive with
interesting
them.
too. My women who have these men often come to us very fearful. They're scared because it can look like a personality disorder, but it's not. It's not a
Right.
personality disorder.
Right. And
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest flags is a lot of those women, they try not to pathologize him and say
Yeah.
he's a narcissist. We get that a lot. I
Yeah.
don't think he's a narcissist, but he fits so many of the things, and I'm really afraid. I
Yeah.
don't know what I would do. And a lot of those women have spent time caretaking and mothering him and catering to him, right? And that burns the woman out really badly.
Mhm.
So one thing that we have to do is help him step in to the calm masculine role he's supposed to be fulfilling
Yeah.
and give her relief from that constant chaos and turbulence. It's the only thing that helps them. I love that. Thank you so much, Alyssa. I appreciate that.
Mm.
Chat, let me know which one of you is with a fearful, avoidant slash loud, disorganized man. Let me know. Okay. I want to hear from you guys. Brostack says my partner is critical, mean, dismissive, but not caring, doesn't look after me, has left me hanging during health issues. He's not a stand-up guy by any means. Alyssa, does that sound like a loud, disorganized man that is workable in a relationship with you?
Where are we looking? I'm sorry, I'm in the chat too.
Oh, I'm in chat too.
Dominic Leifert.
Brostacks,
Bro
5808,
stacks.
the most
Oh,
recent one
I
I've
see. My
got.
partner is critical, mean, dismissive, etc., but not caring, doesn't look after me. Never caring. You've never seen empathy, never seen any care. Loud, disorganized, workable men have more of a switch, kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. They can have this really stressed version of them that is critical, mean, dismissive, shut down, stonewalled, be really cold, ice you out. But when the emotional connection is proper and to the quality that they're looking for, they are highly caring. They will soften with you. They'll be playful with you. They will take care of you. They will provide for you. So it sounds like maybe he's not workable, actually. If he provides zero care, even when times are good, then that's not a good sign.
Right. We do have to draw boundaries. We have to be very, very clear with the people that we're talking to. What is a relationship you should stay with and resolve, and what is something you need to walk away from? If they truly never give you empathy and they show nothing but contempt and unkindness and abandon you, my question then becomes, what is keeping you in that relationship? Why are you continuing to give in to that? Why do you think that that's a normal experience for a relationship? That would be the question I would ask there. Thank you, Alyssa. I love
Yeah.
that. Linda, I'm going to jump in with you next, and then I'll go through all of you again. Linda, so glad to have you on the team. You have a wealth of experience. You have even more clinical experience, I think, numbers wise than I do, which is amazing. I want to ask you, okay, if a client, I'm sure clients have asked you these questions. How do you know if you're responding to what's happening right now, or if you're responding to what your core beliefs expect to happen? And this calls back to the attachment styles decoder course that we did. I talked you guys through some of this earlier today as well. Your attachment patterns that make you predict bad things are going to happen, and then you make bad things happen. Linda, how do we know if we're responding to what's in front of us or that old belief?
Yeah, absolutely. And that course is amazing, that mini course. A lot of people got a lot of benefit out of that. And this is something from that course. And that's the question we want to start asking ourselves, right? Is this something that is happening now, or is this a core belief, right? And so our brains don't respond to what's happening now. It responds to patterns, especially patterns tied to pain, abandonment, criticism, chaos, unpredictability. When you activate, your mind automatically searches for your history, right? Your similarities, things like that. And if something's familiar, that nervous system fires before you can even think. This is how that core belief gets reinforced. It's not created then, but it keeps getting reinforced over and over again. And so you're not overreacting, you're like reacting to what has kept you safe in the past. And so when we look at to like separate like the present data from old expectations, right? We look at that core belief that we have, the story that you've learned before that age of 7. When you were from 0 to 7, right? We're in that theta brain waves were like 4 to 8 hertz, early developmental time in our lives. And so that's when those negative core beliefs are developed, and we take on a lot at that time, where we base our self-worth and what a relationship looks like. And so as we get older, that the theta brainwaves start to change over time. And during early childhood, they're very strong. And they have that peak in frequency, and they're held in the back of our head, that posterior. And so, but then as we go into adulthood, it becomes stronger. We go more into that alpha, and the alpha is in the front of our head. And so that makes sense to like how, as we get older, in our mid-20s and things like that, our frontal cortex is fully developed at that time. So that all makes sense to why that would happen. And so some examples that we can have of these negative core beliefs that we have that trigger ourselves can be like, people are going to leave me, I'm too much, my needs don't matter, I'll be criticized if I say something, I have to be perfect to be loved, I'll mess up, I'll be punished. And so when something happens today that resembles something that's from the past, even if it's slightly, our core belief predicts that old outcome, and our body reacts intensely. And so some examples is like your partner uses a firm tone, or core belief might be we're expecting criticism, right? A friend takes too much time getting back to us. We have that fear of abandonment. Somebody looks irritable, or core belief could be rejection. And so how do you know if you're responding in what has happened now, or to that core belief that we have, right? And so that's like a question we want to keep on asking ourselves. And when we ask that question, we can then pause. And as we ask this, it interrupts that prediction and that cycle. And we can step out of our old coding into actual that present moment.
And one thing I know that you teach a lot of your clients is, in the moment, you won't know if you're responding to a core belief or the present, because your system is firing off and scaring you so badly. The only way to really know is to stop, take a breath, reset your nervous system, and then You ask, have I asked any questions in the last 5 minutes, or am I just assuming? And then you usually have to ask the other person a clarifying question. Hey, can I ask right now, what are you doing? What are you expecting from me? What are you needing from me? What are we doing here? Is this really a difficult conversation, or am I just perceiving it that way? When you can pause, calm your nervous system, and then check in with the other person, that's where we stay present and we aren't reacting to the past as much. If you can't do that, you are reacting to the past. Good way to
Yeah,
say it.
absolutely. Yeah. And also too, if you look at it as a trigger, right? If I'm being triggered by my core belief, and that's what we get triggered by, is my reaction, is that response the same as like, is it lining up? If it isn't, right, my response is up here, then yes, it's a core belief, it's a trigger. We know that for sure. And so, like you're saying, we want to then really calm our system in that moment.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, Linda. Let's see, who will I pick on next? Lisa, let's come back to you. I loved your answer before. So, for all the parents who are out there, many of them are, and many of them will be watching this later. What are the common ways that parents unintentionally dysregulate their child or create insecure attachment patterns?
Mhm. There are a lot of things that parents don't know that they're doing because to them, this is what's normal. This is that imprinted model that they grew up with. And so a lot of parents that I see show up inconsistently with their kids in the way that they react to them. Sometimes they can come in calmly when their child makes a mistake, and then other times they blow up. And so the child doesn't know which parent am I getting today? Am I going to have a parent who's going to understand what I'm about to tell them, or am I going to get in so much trouble that I'm going to get yelled at and grounded? And so it sends them into a chaotic spiral that they end up behaving in ways that are very dysregulated, that become either aggressive towards their parent, or maybe they withdraw and they hide things from their parent. They become very defiant. And so it's really in that inconsistency that I see that the parent struggles to know how to regulate themselves so that they're giving that calm, consistent response to their kid despite what their child is bringing forth. That's number one. I would say number two is minimizing feelings. And I see this a lot with avoidant parents. So a lot of the times I see a lot of dads that have those tendencies and but moms too. I mean, both parents can minimize a child's feelings, especially when you're trying to get them through the big tantrum. They're upset because they didn't get something their way, and a parent might go, "Oh, stop it. You're fine. Stop crying. It's gonna be okay." But what that does, it invalidates that child's feelings. It makes them feel like, even though objectively it might be a small thing, like they didn't get the colored cup that they really wanted, but it tells them that what you feel isn't important and we just need to ignore that and keep going. And so that can really start that insecure pattern for that child becoming very fearful or concealing their feelings towards their parent because they're afraid of the reaction that they're going to get. Um, and another one is when a parent overreacts. They do too much. They're the helicopter parent who just feels like they need to jump in all the time. The kid falls down and they're like, "Oh my goodness." It's like the end of the world kind of situation. Those types of kids, like they feel the parent's energy and they can feel the chaos coming from that parent. That internalizes as a dysregulated response. The child starts crying, gets really scared, and then over time, that child becomes more clingy because they don't feel like they can handle things because the parent has always jumped in for every little thing. And now that kid really feels insecure. So those are
100%.
just some of those patterns that I do see.
You know your stuff. You've been doing this for a long time. I appreciate that. I want to highlight something that you said in there that's something you showed us. We can give our kids insecure attachment, even if we don't think we're doing attachment behaviors. It's when we're exhausted, we're tired, we minimize their feelings, not just once, but we do it again and again and again. It's It's more than our attachment style that's causing insecure attachment in our kids. It's our dysregulation day to day to day. And we know from research that we live in strangely, one of the most stressful times in human history. Not one of the worst times or even the most dangerous times, but the overall stress load on our system is causing our nervous systems to be so dysregulated. We've almost never seen this before. It takes such extreme cataclysms to have the level of stress we're under right now. So we are daily dysregulated, most likely. And if that's the case, we are daily hurting our children. It's something we've got to fix. Thank you, Lisa, for calling that out. Chat, how you guys doing with your stress levels, 1 to 10? What's your daily stress level, chat? Daily stress level, 1 to 10, with 1 being I am so relaxed, I don't even remember what stress is, and 10 being someone get me to a hospital. My heart is about to burst right out of my chest from the blood pressure and stress. Give me a daily on where you're at right now, and then I want you to ask yourself, how might that be affecting my children? That's what Lisa's challenging you to think about here today. Thank you, Lisa. Irina, great question for you, and I know you'll love this one. After a breakup, people intellectually know that the breakup usually was the right decision, but emotionally, a lot of people keep feeling pulled back, right? They keep going back into the relationship where they think, well, maybe just a little bit more. Maybe I didn't try hard enough. How do you, in particular, help someone understand what's actually happening inside their nervous system during this time? And what would it actually take for somebody to move forward instead of just white knuckling through it?
Yes, thank you, Adam. I get this question a lot from clients, and what's happening is that your nervous system is experiencing a biochemical withdrawal. You're not weak for being pulled back, right? It's just your brain is literally being deprived of the bonding chemical that it became dependent on while you were in the relationship. So when you are in the relationship, oxytocin is flowing regularly, right there. So that's the connection hormone, right? So it makes the person feel like home. It feels like safety. So then the relationship ends and that chemical supply shuts off. So your nervous system is experiencing, it's like a withdrawal from a drug. So it's an actual withdrawal. It's not metaphorical. So your intellect is saying that was right. And that's probably true, but your nervous system is in death spiral biochemically. So it's grieving like the person has died, because in your body's experience they have died. So that's the gap between what you know intellectually and what your body is experiencing. That's not weakness, that's actually neurology. So what you have to do in order to get over a breakup, it isn't the willpower or the white knuckling, right? It's rebuilding the bonding chemicals through other relationships in your life and other connections. So friendships become critical. That's not to replace the romantic relationship, but it's the oxytocin comes from any meaningful connection, right? So when someone believes in you during a breakup, when you laugh with friends, when you feel truly seen by others, that's oxytocin production. So that's what actually heals the withdrawal. Okay, so it's the connection and also the belief in the future. Okay, I know it's hard to believe that there is a future. It's probably a lot of people think that I will never be able to find another partner like this, or there's this, but it's just believing, right? So, and what you can do, you can work on your attachment style right now, so you don't repeat the same mistakes in the future. And you will. This is what teach people all the time: vetting process, how to start dating again, and how to pick the right secure people for your future.
I love that. And I want to hammer on something you said there is you are in biochemical withdrawal. Everybody
Yes.
out there, you've heard me talk about that attachment style decoder course, how it shows you the exact patterns and then how to interrupt them. Keep in mind that when you are in biochemical withdrawal or emotional starvation in a relationship, even if you haven't broken up yet, it makes those patterns worse because you're already so dysregulated that you can't interrupt those patterns. You're going to fly through them faster. You're going to get triggered more often. You're going to predict worse things happening. You're going to react worse than you would have before. The other person gets set off worse, which deepens the cycle. This is why a toxic relationship is so notoriously damaging. the more it goes on and on and on, is it deepens those grooves so much faster. So understand that if you are in biochemical withdrawal, you need to understand what's going on. The attachment style decoder course right now is up on very special offer, as with all of our courses for Black Friday. Make sure you get in there. Up to 60% off the bundles with up to 5 free gifts included. You can pick up an assessment with any one of our coaches here as well and add that on for the lowest price we've ever offered. And you can just go all in on the coaching, up to 30% off right now as well. If you guys just want to get started, you are tired of this game and tired of this process, let's get going. You can work with any of these 5 coaches you see here right now. You're hearing them share their expertise and you're hearing those answers. So based on the problems you come in with, you will be slotted with the right coach for you, the person who's going to match you best. Linda, I would love to come back to you next. How do you know? How does a client know or a person know if their nervous system is sounding an alarm with the amygdala that's hallucinating fears? We talked about that chat earlier. Or if there's a real breach in the relationship they need to address. How do we really distinguish the real threats?
Absolutely, Adam. So this is another question that we want to keep asking ourselves. When we ask ourselves questions and we get curious about these things, it gets us into our logic brain, right? We're out of our emotion, we're into logic. And so this is another really good question to ask, because it's like, okay, is my nervous system sounding this alarm, or is this a breach or a boundary, right? And so what we want to look at is, this is like one of the most important ways that we can heal in attachment, because when our nervous system is sounding that alarm, right, there's a reaction, it's immediate. We feel this surge of like energy or panic. We want to shut down, we want to lash out, right? We want to over explain. Our emotions feel big and fast and overwhelming. It feels like we're in survival, right? That's not secure attachment. That's all survival coming up. And so this is a protective response, and that's not a boundary, right? A real boundary is, when it's being breached, is we want to look more in a secure, right? How would a secure person create boundaries and have those things? And so when you're secure and you have boundaries, you feel grounded, you feel clear. Your thoughts are slow, they're not frantic. You can communicate calmly. You can ask for what you need. I know that's a big one in the course, right? And so, and you don't feel that urge to like rescue or please or attack, right? The boundary is clear, versus protective responses out of fear, right? And so examples are like, if my partner raises their voice and and your body freezes, right? That's an alarm. If someone speaks to you disrespectfully and you calmly say, like, that's not okay with me, that's a boundary. If I run, explode, fawn, end in discomfort, it's an alarm. If you make it clear requests because it's your principle, right? We also teach this in the course, is like having those really good principles. If a principle is crossed, then that's a boundary. And so when we look at this, like, how do we know if our nervous system is sounding alarm, or is it a breach or a boundary that I need to address? We want to ask these questions. And so it's bringing that thinking brain back online. It lets you decide whether the situation needs protection or communication. And so that's a really good question to ask ourselves.
I love that. You do so well with clients who are dysregulated, scared, anxious, and don't know how to get out of that mode. In fact, one thing I've seen a lot is that you do very well with clients who don't even know that they're scared and anxious and how much that's impacting them. You give them a lot of insight. A lot of times, in chat, maybe you guys can resonate with this. A lot of times people remember fight and flight. And as long as they don't feel like they're wanting to run away and they don't feel like they're wanting to fight, they assume they're not in a panic mode. But we forget, right? The other 2 F's that are involved. There's freeze, which is more quiet, disorganized, but that last one, fawning. Fawning.
Yeah.
And Linda, you said it. Fawning is approval seeking from a place of panic. It is trying to make people happy from a place of panic. It is, please don't be mad at me. Please don't leave me. Please don't fight me. Please don't attack me. Please don't punish me. The fawning response itself indicates that you're dysregulated. Chat, those of you who have anxious attachment styles and anxious pieces, disorganized even with anxious tendencies, really consider that for yourself. Drop a me in the chat if you find yourself fawning when you panic. You probably are not fighting. You're probably not running away. It doesn't make sense to run away from the person you love. You want to run toward them. It doesn't make sense to fight them because that ruins the relationship. That's why we have fawning. And fawning is exactly an indicator that you are not currently in your logical thinking mind. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. Great answer.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, back to you, bro. Question for you. When you are communicating needs with an avoidant partner, and I know that you have a lot of clients who are avoidant men, so you have a tremendous amount of experience seeing these guys up close and personal and helping them. You also have a lot of partners of avoidant people. You even have a lot of anxiously attached men who are working with an avoidant female partner. I know that you've done that a lot, and a lot of the men in chat actually ask me that quite often. We get a lot of comments. I'm an anxious man. I have an avoidant partner. When you're communicating needs with an avoidant partner, what are the top two must do's and the top two must not do's that you see?
Adam, that's a great question. And yeah, that's something that I actually help. I'd say probably 70 to 80% of my clients. One of them, either they themselves are avoidant or their partner is. And I will say one of the first must do's is you have to be direct, you have to be concise, and you have to be emotionally regulated when communicating with them. Avoidant partners are going to shut down when they feel like that conversation has a covert contract attached to it, when they feel like it's being led in an emotional way, or if it's like a trap. And so if you can just front load the context of the conversation and say, hey, I need more quality time with you once a week. What would it look like for us to be able to sit down and connect for 30 minutes each night? You're being very clear, you're being very concise, but you're also being emotionally regulated when you're communicating with them, and they know exactly what it is that you're looking for. Another one that you can also do is offer structure. Don't have it be something that's pressured. If it's something that's pressured, they're going to view it as unstable. Avoidant people love stability, they love predictability. And so if you come to them and you're like, hey, we need to do this and we need to make this change now, we need to change everything right now, they're going to feel very unsettled about that, and their ability to respond to that and their ability to actually be able to communicate that with you and to be receptive of it is not going to be nearly what the response is that you would like from it. And so if you can say, hey, here's what I need, and here are 2 or 3 ways that we could get that accomplished. What does that look like from you? It's much more of a negotiation. It's much more of an open communication that they're actually able to understand at that point.
I love that. That is so clear. That's a snapshot of what we present inside the How to Love an Avoidant Man video course, of course, which does work. About 99% of that course material works with female partners who are avoidant as well. By the way, chat, you guys have asked me that. 99% of that material applies perfectly to avoidant women. An avoidant partner is an avoidant partner. It's the avoidant piece that you're looking at, not the gender of the person. So, Jeremy, I love that. I know a lot of my clients, your clients, I talk to them afterward and during I check in, how you doing? How's it going? They just rave. I've never understood how to be a man like this before. Jeremy just makes me feel like I got biceps made of steel, is what they say, right? The masculinity goes up, the growth goes up, and they gain the respect of themselves, but also the female partner. One thing I've noticed is a lot of avoidant women need you to be more masculine even. They need you to out masculine them so they can finally stop. And that's really the only time that avoidant women start to calm down and settle into their feminine self, because no one has ever allowed them to do that before. A man
Yeah.
has to grow through that behavior.
And that's something that you'll see a lot of times too if they don't necessarily know how to handle an avoidant partner. A lot of times you'll see it pull them into their anxiousness. They have an avoidant woman, especially in that dynamic. If you have the anxious man, avoidant woman, if the avoidant woman is avoidant enough, she's going to pull even a secure guy potentially into that anxiousness. And so you have to know how to address that. You have to know how to communicate that. You had a second part to that question. Was it was it
The
the
must do's and the
must not
must not
do's?
do's. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I want to make sure that I get this covered with them as well. One of the biggest must not do's that I tell people is you cannot cast judgment on them. For an avoidant person, as soon as you start pointing the finger and you start saying things like you always do this or you never do this, or it's those broad categories where when people talk about you never do this or you always do this, it's not realistic. It's not something that's logical, and they can tell that you're not regulated when you are bringing these things up. That's going to end the conversation for them. They're going to pull back. They're going to be like, okay, this person doesn't truly care about resolving this conflict for me, so I'm just going to excuse myself from the situation. And that's when you'll notice them shut down. And then another one, like I said, front load the conversation as much as possible. One of the must not do's is lead the conversation with emotion. If you lead into it with we need to talk, or you're visibly upset, or emotionally dysregulated, and they can visually see that, it's going to make their ability to be able to co-regulate with you and to be able to have that conversation with you much less than you would like, because they see that you're not in a spot that's stable. You're not in a spot to be able to have a conversation. They're trying to look at things logically. And when you're trying to look at things emotionally, while they're trying to look at it from a logic, it's two things that just aren't going to match up. So when you're going into those, make sure that you are emotionally regulated. Make sure that you do have yourself in a gathered enough state to be able to have the conversation, and also be able to pause the conversation if you feel yourself getting emotionally dysregulated. Pause, say, hey, I need 30 minutes, or I need 2 hours, or sometimes even 24 hours. I know we have the 24-hour rule as well. I need 24 hours to sit and actually process this, just so I can make sure I can come back to you with an appropriate response. What does that look like for us to come back tomorrow night after dinner and sit down and have this conversation?
I love this. And this highlights just even more how hard it is to fix this nervous system problem in a relationship when you're worried about causing so much damage that you're going to lose it. That's exactly what coaching is for. When somebody says, Adam, I want to fix this, but I'm afraid I'm not going to go fast enough, coaching is for that. When you are tired of spending years and years waiting, when you know a video course is going to be helpful information, but you're not going to follow it because you need accountability, when you are afraid of what's going to happen next week in the biggest argument you're ever about to have, and it's going to ruin their ability to trust you and it's all over, if you're afraid things are about to go poof, coaching is designed to help you step in, stop the bleed quickly, stabilize, what we say, stabilize, and then begin building from there. You've got to stabilize first so you don't damage the relationship further. That's exactly what our coaches are trained to do, is stabilize first, grow and repair, and then move forward into the next phase, which usually is joy and fulfillment beyond what the couple does. Most couples or individuals come into us just trying to stop the pain. Sure, great. That's phase one. Usually people re-up into a second coaching package with us because now they're excited about the door that's been opened to the joy and fulfillment they get to live out in the second half. So everybody out there right now, remember that you can come work with us. You can pick up courses. You can grab an assessment. You can just jump into coaching. You can have a call with our team and see which is going to be a best fit. Make sure you click the link pinned right now in chat. Up to 60% off the video courses and up to 30% off coaching right now. I need you guys to remember that this is Black Friday special. It is not going to last for very long. So do not wait. Don't come back tomorrow. Don't think about it till next week. It will be gone. And there will be a much, much larger investment required from you to fix this. Last up on the block, Alyssa, I want to talk to you about avoidant men as well. Nope. Avoidant women. Let's do avoidant women instead, okay?
Okay.
Because people here ask a lot of questions about avoidant women, and we have a lot of material for avoidant men. So let's just change it up. Chat, you guys have asked me before. Everyone in the comments, you've asked me. Let's take care of you, okay? How does an avoidant woman change and develop through her romantic relationships? Tell me that, Alyssa.
I love that question. Interestingly, before I answer it, I've actually been noticing that a lot of our women who come see us think they're anxiously attached, and then during their assessment with me or with any of our coaches, they discover that they're actually avoidant. And avoidant women are complicated because a part of the response they have, the anxious anxiety feeling they have, which is a normal human feeling, it's actually a response to no oxytocin. In particular, this happens when she's with a man that is more masculine than her. So, what I see for avoidant women is that they actually start off dating anxiously attached men or men that are more passive than her, men that she can actually have more power over, men that she can control, and not because she's necessarily evil, but it feels safer. Avoidant women actually feel unsafe in down power positions with men that are more masculine than them. So that's where they start is I don't want to have a man more powerful than me. I want a man that I can control and that will kind of, as Orion Terabin mentions, be my ferry boat man. Take me wherever I want to go. Let me do whatever I want to do. Let me make the decisions. But she eventually burns out on that as she develops through her relationships and realizes that I'm actually unattracted to this. And when she hits that point, she entirely drops the relationship and leaves. She might actually leave the relationship very cold, matter of fact, kind of she reached the decision and just cuts it off without any conversation. She sees there's no possible way to fix it. And honestly, that is a situation that is very hard to mend for avoidant women. When she realizes she actually needs a man to lead her. It's hard to get an anxiously attached man to become that. That's something a journey he has to go on his own. But after that, after the anxious man, the ferry boat man, she looks for a man that's more masculine than her. And at that point, because she doesn't know what secure masculinity looks like, she actually finds loud, disorganized men. So that's really interesting. And then she's faced with a whole different set of challenges. Now he's more masculine than me, but oh my God, he's got a lot of feelings and a lot of reactions. And he's really actually quite critical, but also he will lay down his life for me. And he's super playful, very passionate, very interesting. But what is this crazy chaos that happens in conflict? So it's interesting. What I see with my avoidant women is they end up staying with loud, disorganized men because of this intermittent reinforcement of the oxytocin and his masculinity. And then it's just like bursts of chaos and conflict. And when the conflict happens, she's like, what the heck is going on? She may shut down. She may actually have dissociation from it. Some avoidant women will actually be corroded by this dynamic if the loud, disorganized man is quite chaotic and quite extreme on the attachment spectrum. She will corrode. Corrode, what I mean by that is her nervous system will shut down and become more passive because she's never been with a man as powerful as this. And her nervous system copes by shutting down. And so she'll actually present more like quiet, disorganized nervous system wise, but she's not quiet, disorganized. She's still avoidant, but she's just having a lot of dissociation, shutdown, and becoming even more less present, more less present. So this is the pattern I see. But for avoidant women that are relatively secure enough, they actually can handle men like this much better. So she won't shut down and behave like quiet, disorganized women, but she'll actually be able to learn that it's really valuable to be vulnerable with this man, and he actually responds well to her vulnerability. Not making it all about her feelings, but actually needs to feel her, and that's one of the things that she has to learn in this relationship with him. So how to be vulnerable, but also communicate in a way that's like a really good COO. So she sets him up really well for problem solving, but she also is not cold and stoic. That actually sets him off really more. So she needs to learn to be vulnerable, but communicate like a really strong COO, which we teach here. And she learns to become more feminine. And additionally, when they work with me, they also learn a lot of regulation strategies that are specific for avoidant women when they're with loud, disorganized men. So something that I teach in particular is that avoidant women, when they're with a masculine man, like a loud, disorganized man, she becomes so hyper reliant on oxytocin from him. She's not actually anxiously attached, but when the oxytocin isn't there, she crumbles. And a part of the issue is that her nervous system doesn't know how to self-generate oxytocin, which is a skill set that women are supposed to be taught by being around one another ancestrally in villages. And we're supposed to watch other women do this. And I call it Disney princess mode. You can be a princess if you want to and be Disney princess mode, but you don't have to turn into that entirely. But this state of self-produced oxytocin only happens in a very particular nervous system state. And when my avoidant women learn that they can do this, they don't turn into doormats with men like this. They actually become much stronger.
I love that so much.
Cool.
And chat is going crazy over there. They're throwing up
I saw it.
100% and hearts and
We're
everything.
having a
Yeah.
party.
Avoidant women on this channel. I know a lot of you have felt invisible. A lot of you have said things just don't match up with me. I'm not getting this. What is this? I hope that answer made sense to you. If you need somebody to work with, Alyssa is here to work with you and help you. Every one of our coaches can help. We have our specializations, certainly, but we are all well versed in this methodology and we are here to assist. I want to make it so clear that I have handpicked these 5 people for a reason. These are the best people from the thousands and thousands of candidates I looked through. These were the best people for me to certify and train because their experiences when they came in were incredible. Their minds were excellent. Their specializations fit the team and really helped us grow more so that people can come in and with every need that they have and get exactly what they're looking for. Thank you, all of my coaches, for being here. Thank you for your beautiful answers. You guys can pop off now. I'm going to talk with chat a little bit longer. Have a great day, coaches. I'll talk with you guys real soon.
Bye, chat.
Say bye-bye, chat. There we
Bye-bye.
go. All right, chat, you and me again. Back to us. Good to talk to you guys. I hope that was helpful and informative. You know, you guys, some of you have been watching me on the back end for 4 years now doing this work, talking live streams. Some of you come in through TikTok, Instagram. We've been together, some of us, for a long time having these conversations. Some of you have just discovered my work. I saw someone in there say, I just found your channel, Sierra says. I wish I could do one of your programs. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here You're just learning that your husband's loud, disorganized. I hear that as well. Thank you, everybody, for being here and listening today. And I hope a lot of you have had aha moments. If you have, it is time to take action. Okay. It is Black Friday. My video courses are on up to 60% off. We have payment plans. We have payment plans and payment options available. Okay. Up to 60% off with payment plans available. If you want to get into coaching, up to 30% off with coaching. If you want to do a course and an assessment, we have those as well. It's Black Friday. The prices will not be this low again, you guys. I don't even know if we're going to go this low next year. So they may never be this low again. I need you to make sure that you pick up the resources you need today. This is your time. Do not wait till next week and think about it and then say, if only I had acted. If only I had had that conversation. If only I'd picked up How to Love an Avoidant Man so I didn't accidentally destroy my relationship by overwhelming him. If only I had picked up the attachment style decoder course and finally understood my patterns and broken them. If only I had grabbed that How to Build a Secure Marriage video course and understood the CEO and COO model of how we are meant to fit together and build a loving, safe relationship. If only I had got an assessment with Alyssa or Jeremy, Irina, Linda, Lisa, and started fixing my relationships before this explosion happened in them. If only I had started last week. Many of you are saying, if only I had started last year. If only I'd started 10 years ago. Don't say that anymore. This is your time. This is when resources are fully accessible to everybody. Up to 60% off with free gifts included with payment plans for most of you. Okay. Jump in, click that link that's pinned right there. Okay. Click that link that's pinned right there. If you want to talk first, go on the website and send me a contact. Me and my team are there to have a conversation with you and help you make the decision. If you don't know what to do, contact us through the website or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm over there. Send me an email, right? Connect with us. We are here to help. We want this to be your year. Some of you I've been talking to for 4 years, and I've been hoping every year was your year. This can be your year. Don't wait any longer. Okay, chat, it has been wonderful being here with you. Thank you so much for your time and your trust, right? Please do not miss Black Friday. I will see you again really soon. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk again.